Consequently, what happened in the end, they both sort of just walked off into the sunset together, and we assume lived happily ever after. So yeah, I was happy about it. It rounded out something that I did want to see a happy ending to.
Okay, right. Well,
Well, didn't
too bad.
Emma Samms was here, and she was talking about, you just got a phone call? They said, how did they kill off your character?
Yeah, well, that's kind of funny, I guess. It's funny for me. I guess it's not too funny if you're Emma. But there was a situation there. They didn't kind of know, they couldn't kind of have me back on the show and have this relationship still happening back in Australia. So they said, well, there's two things we can do. Either we can have her leave you, or we can kill her off. And it didn't kind of make a lot of sense, given the history of the relationship, to really sort of just say, well, look, I'm sick of the marriage, goodbye. So they decided, we'll kill her off. But they made a few mistakes. I mean, General Hospital has never been a show of great taste. And,
He's got a phone call.
It's okay, I've seen the pink slip. And consequently, I had to sit down and say, now look, you don't do this, you don't do that. And we went through a lot of problems there before we really settled on what to do with her. Well, having then done away with her, it was kind of, I walked into, my opening episode was, I walked in and I said, well, she's dead. Yeah, okay, now, let's get down to business. And it was that clean. I mean, there was no mourning, there was nothing. But in an episode, an upcoming episode, excuse me, about the end of this month, the audience will finally have its way, and there will be this long, drawn-out thing where it's kind of like a, well, it's sort of like post-mourning, so to speak. Suddenly he realizes that she's dead.
Oh, so it's these little flashbacks.
And we go into all the flashbacks, and he reads this letter, and he gets all kind of weepy, and it's all that sort of soap stuff that people love. You're going to love it, really. Yeah. You're just going to love it.
And one of these days, if Ian decides to go away, couldn't y'all get back together?
This is a loaded question. Very loaded question, and the producers thought very deeply about it before they went ahead and made the move that they did. And there's a couple of considerations they had to take into account. They didn't feel it was appropriate to put Robert with Anna in view of the fact that they messed up the Holly thing so badly. And then there was another consideration. I think the main consideration was that, believe it or not, the majority of people right across the US were against Robert and Anna really getting married. They were far more in favour. It's very true. They went into this very scientifically, and there was much more popularity in Anna and Duke getting together than there was in the two of us. So what they've done with us is they've just sort of made us very close friends. And I think Finn and I have worked very hard to make that side of the relationship what it is. It was never written that way. We're the ones that created that ourselves, and we kind of like to keep that going. It frees us up, it makes us a little more loose around one another. I think that if they married the two of them off, it'd be tough. And also there's one other thing, you're never going to see Scorpio married again. This was a contractual point, and I said I don't want to see the character ever married again, and take it or leave it. And they said, all right, we'll take it.
Your storylines for a while was with Emma Samms. They say that was some of the most sensational electric chemistry that's ever been on television before. They say that you two just sizzled.
Cooked.
One of those storylines that I never agreed with. Suddenly, these two are going to get married. I said, come on now, they've been together now for 8 years. He turns around and walks in the room and he's in love with her. What kind of rubbish is that?
Yeah, we have another caller on the line. Caller from Florida. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello, caller. You're in the zone with Tristan Rogers.
Hey, Tristan. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Pretty good. This is Ladybug Holden. How are you?
Ah, my dear.
Hey.
How are you, baby?
Pretty good. Hey, I want to see what your response was with, what your feelings are with all the fans with Robert and Holly's anniversary coming up, and what you think about it.
Well, I think it's great. my feelings towards that whole relationship is that it needs closure. It needs a moment where they just rake the two of them back together again and let them walk off into the sunset.
Right. So during your 10 years at General Hospital, you did not overlap much at all.
He was joining as I was leaving.
Right.
I'd been there for 14 years and I'd had enough. I was done. And I tried to leave once before, and Gloria Monty came back on the show and said, I need you here for 6 months. I'm bringing in this whole new character. It's going to be wonderful. It's called Edis. And Tony Geary is playing the role of, what's his face, Ed Gallagher. And I said, you're shitting me, aren't you? You're going to have the most iconic character in daytime television play somebody else. She said, it's going to be wonderful. Well, of course, it was a huge flop. And halfway through it, they were told, get rid of this thing completely and bring Tony Geary back as Luke Spencer. So they didn't have another storyline. So they turned to Gloria suddenly and said, I've had this wonderful idea. You're going to get married. I said, what? She said, you and Anna are going to get married. I said, wait a minute, you've already been married. It didn't work then. Why do you think it's going to work now? And of course, it didn't work. I really did have enough at that particular point. It was the last thing in the world I wanted to do. But I'll tell you one thing, when it works, it works. And there's no two better people at making it work than Emma and myself.
Right. Well, would you be open to them putting Robert and Anna back together?
No.
No. Okay.
Not going to work. We've got
Okay.
too much trouble to create the relationship that we have, which is like an advanced brother and sister.